Hello and welcome to our Business Central launch event about 2024 release wave 1. This time we want to present one local a set of functionalities, and it will be related what is new about Danish Bookkeeping Act. We already delivered the same topic previous wave, but previous wave was before final development from our side, the final decision from DBA. So we wanted to update what is really new, what is the most important. So this is mostly about updated features. And the most important, you need to take care. My name is Aleksandar Totovic, I'm product manager, and I was responsible from about this set of functionality. And together with me is Arto Wenzel, software engineer, who made a lot of great functionality related with Danish Bookkeeping Act. So agenda will not be complicated. We will pass through introduction and scope, some timeline, when we started, how we started, what we deliver and when, and we will go straight forward to new features, why and how. Okay. New Danish Bookkeeping Act has been announced in 2022. What is important, Business Central is certified in Denmark by DBA in first phase, in the first set from January 1st, 2024. So we are fully certified. You can find on this link full list of all certified solutions, when they are certified, who is certified, who is not. So we are certified. But let's explain what is certified. Microsoft certified as a standard solution. That means as is, because we cannot predict what can be extended. So by DBA, this is registered as standard solution and only as a cloud option. We will talk what is not a standard solution. No standard solution is if you change some behavior required by the DBA. It doesn't mean that every customization will be outside the standard solution, but everything what is related with bookkeeping, with keeping data for 5 years, for example, it will not be standard solution anymore. So you are responsible for your customizations. You need to see if these customizations have an impact on a standard solution, and to make decision and to check with DBA eventually if you need to certify your solution as this is highly customized or this is still available as a standard solution based by Microsoft. If you're an ISV, and if your ISV solution has any impact on these areas, what I mentioned, yeah, you definitely need to certify your solution. You can certify your ISV name together with Business Central, and that's okay. And when you start to certify, you can ask for DBA documentation Microsoft use, so you can reuse some of this documentation. Not everything, but more than 90% of documentation are available publicly, so you can reuse it. And if you're using on-prem solution, we didn't certify on-prem solution. Currently, this is not possible because of some physical limitations. So you must certify your on-prem solution by yourself. It doesn't mean that all these features will not be available in on-prem. The most of them, that means almost everything, what we will show today, I will mention what is not available in an on-prem solution. You can reuse in your on-prem solution. So this is, let's say, ready for certification, but you need to finish a few things and to certify by yourself. When we started, we were really dedicated to provide full compliance to all our customers. We wanted to provide in a first available way. We wanted to have you secured that we are on the right path, and we want to have certified solution for you. We communicated everywhere on a BC Yammer. We even had our promising on our docs page for Denmark local environment. So we did it, and we were focused, and we mentioned from the beginning that we were focused on cloud solution. We started immediately design and redesign as soon as we got information what we need to do, final information. Sometimes we had just beta instruction, and we didn't want to start with something we need to change lately. Even we had to do it in a few cases. But what we try to do more, everything what we could see, it can be applicable in more countries, or maybe in the future can be applicable in more countries. We deliver this as a W1 base app or as a global apps. Only what is really local, we kept as a local features. And we require, all these features finished, we certified, and now what we will continue process of improvements. So some things maybe are not perfect. So now we are listening to your feedback, but keep in mind that all your feedback, we first need to filter it because we are enforced by the law. We must be compliant by the law, and if there is some space, we can make more better options and better user experience for you in the borders of this law, we will do it. So, new Danish Bookkeeping Act, as I said, announced in 2022. Microsoft and decided to go together with common collaboration, a Business Central and finance operation team, actually finance team. So both the teams started to research all necessary information together. So we didn't want to go separately and then to make different ideas. So ideas and some solutions can be different because different architecture or two different solutions. But everything what we could do, we tried to do with some common decisions. Then, somewhere in the beginning of 2023, we created our Business Central backlog, what we will do. And immediately after making this backlog, we created a specific channel on Yammer for Danish Bookkeeping Act, so we started to communicate with partners. And soon after that, we created our first virtual machine and published on Yammer. It was, if I'm not wrong, now I'm trying to recall, it was about SFT. So you could start with early testing. This was our idea, and it will be in the future to be as more transparent as possible every time when it is possible. Then on a previous launch event, as I said, we presented this topic. Then on Direction EMEA, we had communication with many of Danish partners there to explain what is there. And then we finished pre-registration process. We submitted our documentation for pre-registrations. It was open, so we wanted to be the first. And we had, let's say, approximately 90% of finished job we submitted to pre-registration process, so we wanted to get early feedback from DBA to see what we need to change. Some final registration documentation submitted after a few changes in the meantime, and yes, officially Business Central was certified on from January 1st this year. Now, a few days, actually a month after that, yes, from February 1st, we updated our terms of use for Denmark. So now we are absolutely compliant. We didn't activate this skipping 5 years before we updated our documentation. So now we are absolutely compliant, and we are starting after more than 300 engineering days in investments on building all these features. Now we are starting with a new phase, improvement based on feedback. So we will first wait to collect some feedbacks to see what we can do, and all this information and all these requirements we are getting from you every day, or let's say every week, we will collect, and we will first discuss with DBA, because we must check with them if we can apply all these ideas. And when we get positive answer from DBA, we will improve this functionality for sure. What we have as a functionality, just high level, we have export to SFT, we have public standard chart of account and VAT chart of account. We can now upload CSV file with accounting data to Regiscape basis, e-submission of VAT, registration notification with name handle, name handle registered, and electronic invoicing, then mandatory digital vouchers as attachments, and keeping your data for 5 years, data compliance. So now let's go step by step. First, I will shortly explain about SFT, and then Arthur will show you more details. You will see SFT is a title, but there are much more features. SFT is app, but in this app, first this app was built on the top of audit file export, standard global app. This is something what we deliver from broad market, and now on the top of that we are just using different formats for different countries. SFT is enabled in Denmark, and this feature is pre-installed, of course, in your environments, your localizations. What is there inside? Inside this app, you can find public standard chart of account, public standard VAT chart of account, standard audit file export, and this is based on DK format. Actually, this is standard export, but a few fields added. And we have import as a file to keep the history. So you can export, this is full functionality for exporting, but we were required to have opportunity to offer you to import SFT, so you can import SFT file and keep this as a history. And using the same audit file export app, we added export bookkeeping data to register basis as a CSV file, because this is really great based on performances. You can export in your active session, you can export later if you have millions of entries. So this is really good app. I'm talking about audit file export, and we reuse for any type of export every time when we can. So now I will give a screen to Arthur to show you public standard chart of account, SFT, and register basis export to CSV. Arthur.
The SFT feature is available from the feature management. So once you enable the feature in one company, it will be enabled for all the other companies. So if you want to set this feature up for other companies, you can type in search SFT, and you can open the SFT setup guide. On the first step of this guide, there will be explained what the feature going to do. And on the next one, you can choose the standard account type. That will be 4-digit standard account. When you choose this one and go next, the next step will be to identify the reporting period for the SFT. You can choose from the accounting period table. Let me choose 2026. And once I select this, you can notice the starting and ending date are populated, and the accounting period type is accounting period. You can also see that there is an action that is called create chart of accounts. So if you don't have the chart accounts in your installation, you can create it based on the standard chart of accounts. Next, I want to do the mapping between my chart of accounts, because I do have it, and the standard chart of accounts. There is an action that could help me to do this. It's called match chart of accounts. And let me show you how does it work. So if I click this one, and if I confirm, I can see that 57 of 186 standard accounts automatically matched. And how I can check this? I can click open the setup page, and I can notice that some of those accounts been matched, and those are exactly identical accounts. So, for example, you can see this one and this one, they're matched. Where you can find the standard accounts are exactly this. So on this sub page, you can notice on the left side GL account number. This is your chart of accounts, and on the right side you can notice the standard accounts numbers. And if I look up to this one, you can see the list of all the public standard accounts that you need to use. And the rule for the SFT, you need to do the mapping for all the charts, for all the accounts in your chart. For the testing purpose, I want to do this in the header. In the header, I have the field standard account number. I want to choose a single account here and update for all accounts. Of course, this is something that you don't want to do. You want to specify a very specific standard account per each of your accounts. But for the sake of presentation, I want to do this. And then I can see that all the GL accounts mapped. The next step will be the mapping of the VAT posting setup. For every single VAT posting setup, I can specify the VAT code, either sales VAT reporting code or the purchase VAT reporting code, depends on what you choose. And I can look up to this one, and here I can find all the VAT reporting codes. But that's optional. You don't need to do this. The next one will be export dimensions to the SFT. You can notice that we automatically set the specific analysis type code for every single dimension. And you can notice that there is an option that is called SFT export. So if you don't want to export a certain dimension, you can remove the check from this field. And the last one will be to specify the employee. So the information from that employee will be part of the SFT file. Let me choose the employee, and the setup is completed in that step. The next one will be the generation of the SFT file itself. For that, I want to open the audit file export documents, and I want to create a new document. And in the header, I need to choose the SFT file format. I want to choose my GL account mapping for this period, 2026. As you can see, the dates are pre-populated, and you can notice a wide range of different options. I'm not going to cover all of them unless the one on the processing tab. The option is called parallel processing, and that will help you to schedule the generation of the SFT file to this, for example, night hours. Because as you can imagine, this is audit file. We're going to export all the general ledger entries for a single year, so that will take a lot of time. With this option, you can schedule this to the appropriate time. I want to do this because I don't have a lot of data, so I will untoggle this one, and I want to start the generation of the SFT file. I want to click Start Action, confirm that, okay, I want to start the generation right now. And then when the generation is completed, let me show you what we have right now. On the line subform, we have three types of data. We have master data, we have general ledger entries for January. This is the only months where I have posted data, and the source documents. And let's see how it reflects on the files itself. I want to click Download Files, and I will have a single zip archive. Let me download this one. And inside of this archive file, let me show you, we have exactly three files. The first one, master data, the second one, general ledger entries, and the third one, source document. Exactly what you see on the lines subpage. That is it with the SFT file generation. And the other important part of the SFT app, in scope of this app, we also provide you the generation of the file that is called RANSCAP basis. For that, you need to search for RB uncounting file. You need to choose the mapping header, absolutely the same like in the SFT file. You will have the dates right here, starting ending dates. And here you have two options for calculation of the balance, both for income statement and for the balance account. You can choose either net change or the balance at date for this one and for this one as well. And of course, we provide you some default values. And then you need to click Generate File, and the file will be generated. Let's quickly check what we have in this file. And this file, that is simple CSV file, when we have the data about every single account, the name of account, and the balance depends on your setup. And that concludes my demo. Back to you, Alexander.
Thank you, Artur, for your demo. And now let's move to the next topic. Next topic is VAT e-submission. So now you must electronically submit your VAT in Denmark. And that means the bookkeeping system, standard bookkeeping system, must support reporting of VAT via Danish Tax Authority VAT API. Business Central now supports VAT submission through tax APIs to SCAT. This app is already finished. It does not require customer certificate. This is important because Microsoft has built in inside. And yeah, it was in one moment they said sometimes we didn't have clear requirements, and we first created new functionality where you had to use your own certificate. But on the end, this requirement was, let's say, made more clear to use proper expressions, and we were enforced to use Microsoft certificate for all our cloud customers. So we updated, we made some few changes there. So currently documentation maybe is not fully changed. It will be updated in the next few days. So what you have there, you have this feature pre-installed by default cloud and on-prem, but certificate, Microsoft certificate is pre-installed only in the cloud solution. For on-prem solution, you must use your own certificate. So you need to ask from SCAT and to use the certificate for on-prem solutions. Next one is name handle notification and registration. This is something what, we had a lot of discussions with many partners with enforcing it notification, but this is by the law. So when you create a company, you will get notification if your company you need to populate CVR number, and if you do not have CVR number, or if your CVR number is not registered with name handle, you will get this maybe annoying notification, but this is something what is must, and you will get there. You can switch off this notification in sandbox environment, but you cannot do it in production. In production, you do not have, actually this is not a blocker, you just need to see it. And if you want to for you to disappear this notification, you must go to name handler register. You will have instruction in this notification. Go there, register your company, and from that moment, this notification will disappear. API will automatically check from the moment when you register there, this notification will not exist anymore. This name handler registration is not only for this notification. It will be necessary for your invoicing in the future. So this is not a blocker. Technically, this is not a blocker, maybe just a annoying notification, but you must have this registration with that handle if you want to work with some other features. So next, I just mentioned invoicing. Based on, we created invoicing. This is based on global e-document framework. We enable both formats, OUBL and PEPL, so you can choose whatever you want. When you open e-document service and you create new service, you can choose service for OUBL or PEPL, or you can create both the services and decide based on your customer vendors which service you want to use. This is supported for delivering and receiving invoices, so you can use in sales process, but you can also use in receiving invoices from your vendor. So it works in both the directions. It works with the messages, approving, rejecting, statuses you can find in logs about every e-document. So this is everything actually what is required by the law and probably much more. Currently, we have full document exchange, as I said, messaging. In this moment, we have enabled only one service, but we are looking to enable more services by default, and we are open for other apps. So we had this one as the most proactive who worked from the beginning, but we want to enable as soon as possible more services by default inside Business Central. Yes, and yeah, what I wanted to mention important, we do not provide direct connection with name handle. For direct connection with name handle, Danish authorities require to have name handle certified service. So Microsoft is not in the business of invoicing, and we do not have certified service. So this is the reason why you need to use some of certified access points. This is not possible to directly connect with name handle if you are not a certified service. So you must use some of existing. Default we have in our app or some other app. And next topic, and this topic will have a demo as well, so I will not talk so much. Mandatory digital vouchers. This feature is enabled as a global feature. Globally, this is voluntary, so you can, when I say voluntary for administrators and partners, so you can choose if you want to use or do not. But if you decide to use, this feature will enforce users to attach some mandatory digital vouchers or attachments, whatever we call this, to some specific documents. It's sales, purchase, general journal, sales journal, purchase journal, combination with different source codes. So for example, you can use general journal if you choose source code for payroll. So you will be enforced only if you have payroll source code on general journals. For other general journals, it will not be enforced. So you can set up as you want. But in Denmark, it will be by default. Currently, this is still voluntary until July 1st. From July 1st, it will be enforced. So from that moment, you will be enforced to use mandatory digital vouchers in sales and purchase documents. For other types of documents, you can choose if you want. But for these two types of documents, you will be enforced. For purchase, you must attach manually purchase document, but for sales, we have automatically generation actually document. When you post sales invoice, system will automatically create and attach. You can attach manually if you want, but we have this automation. We try to automate as more as possible. So, this feature, as I said, it starts July 1st, and now I would like not to talk more about that. I think it will be much better to see it through demo. So, Artur, please take your stage and show us mandatory digital vouchers.
The digital voucher feature is available from the assisted setup. When I click Setup Digital Voucher feature, the digital voucher guide will be open. The first step is an explanation about the feature. The next one is the page where I can open the important and the important part of this setup. It's called the digital voucher entry setup, and this is exactly what Alexander shown on his slide. So here we have the setup for the sales document. we have the attachment. It means that for every single sales document, there should be a digital voucher attached. But we have the options generate automatically, and it means that if you do not attach the document manually, it will be automatically generated. And I will present this scenario. And the second one is purchase document. Here we have the same check type attachment, but we do not offer generation of automatically. And the important part is the enforcement. Enforcement means that you won't be able to change the check type. So right now I can change from attachment to no check, but from the 1st of July, won't be able to do this. Then for the journal, the important part of the setup is called the source code. So for example, when I set up for the sales journal, I can specify all the source codes connected to the journal. When I click source codes, I can see that the source code for this one is the sales journal. It means that when I post something from the journal, system will verify that we have the source code sales journal, and this setup will be applied for this kind of journals. Let me show you the scenario. I will complete the setup, and I will show the scenario with the purchase invoice first. I want to create the new purchase invoice. Specify the vendor invoice number, and then add something to the lines. And at this point, I don't want to attach anything. I want to check how the system behaves if I don't have any attachment. And I want to post the invoice, and I will see there a message that it's not possible to post without attaching the digital voucher. So let me attach the digital voucher. I can do this from the incoming document files fact box on the right side. I click incoming document files, and then the action is called attach file. I want to choose my PDF from the vendor, and then I want to try to post again. The document is posted. And let's see, so we have the incoming document file right here. And the most important part is that we have the same incoming document file for all the associated entries. For example, if I go to general ledger entries, I can also find the incoming document file for every single GL entry. Now let me show you the scenario with the sales invoice. With the sales invoice, I'm going to do the very same steps. So I want to create a simple sales invoice. And I don't want to attach any digital voucher. And that will be a little bit different from the purchase invoice, where I got the error. For the sales document, in according to the setup, the document will be generated automatically. So when I click, I want to post invoice, I can see that the invoice is posted. And in the posted document, and also in all the associated entries, I can see that there is incoming document file attached. Let me download the file and show you how does it look. And this is the regular invoice in the Business Central. So this is generated automatically and attached to the posted sales invoice as the digital voucher. And that concludes my demo. Back to you, Alexander.
Okay, thank you, Artur, for a great demo. Before I continue, I just want to emphasize one more thing. We didn't mention about that. Once when you post document with attachment, you cannot remove this attachment after that. You cannot update, but you can add additional attachments. So this is not a problem if you have something else you forgot to add. Maybe you had 2, 3, 10 different documents. You can attach them even if the document is posted, but you cannot remove original one or update original one. Okay, let's continue maybe to the most complicated and the most weird situation about storage of transaction and voucher for 5 years. This first slide is about a requirement from DBA. That means that we as a service provider, and now just do not forget, everything what I'm talking right now, it is applicable only for cloud. This does not exist in an on-prem solution. For this is a problem. We cannot certify on-prem solution. You need to read the DBA requirements and to make some solution for you. Storage transactions must exist for all recorded transactions and receipts or vouchers for 5 years after the end of financial years. These transactions and receipts must be stored this way that company who made them, they cannot change, backdate, delete, whatever. So they are secure absolutely from any additional interaction. All transactions and vouchers must be stored regardless of any termination of your contract with Microsoft. So even if you stop to pay subscription, we must continue to keep this data. Even if customer go to bankruptcy, force dissolution, whatever, we must keep from the last fiscal year, minimum for 5 years, this data. And all encrypted bookkeeping data must be decrypted into a structured and machine-readable format. So this was a big challenge. These were the big challenges with looking all these requirements. And we tried to find the best solution for that, not to make overcomplicated for implementation. So right now, you do not need to do anything from your side. What we are doing, Business Central export required data on a daily basis to secure Azure blob storage. We will export transaction data and digital vouchers. You cannot find this data. You do not have any access. We do not have access to this data. They cannot be changed, backdated, or deleted by any user. Everything what is more than 5 years old, I say 5+ years after last fiscal year, just to be clear about that, it will be automatically removed from our storage. So we will not keep this data forever. Only the last 5 years after your end of your fiscal year. So we have automated process for removing because we want to behave related with GDPR instructions, and we can keep only what is maximum what is required by the law. By the law, it is required 5 years, and we are doing only this. And this is updated in our terms of use. To start this updating, you must have your CVR number in company information. Without that, we cannot export your data. But on the other side, we had to prevent non-exporting data because this is required by the law. We must export your data. We must keep your data. So we blocked all general ledger transactions if you didn't enter your CVR number. So you must enter your CVR number in company information if you want to use this company for transactions. So you can create a company. You can create, for example, as a master data company, no problem. You will not be enforced to use CVR number if you don't have transactions. But if you want to have transactions, you must enter your CVR number. And CVR number is not essential only for that. This is essential for SFT, for e-invoicing, e-VAT, for many other things. And just to be clear, CVR number in Denmark is a registered number in company information. When we say CVR number, we think on a registered number in company information. And let's be more transparent. We want to be absolutely transparent with you. So this is a set of table, what we will export. You can see in this second sentence, actually, this is set of table, but not all fields. We are exporting only minimal set of fields required by the law, actually required by DBA. So you will see transaction data, GL entry, customer ledger entry, retail customer, vendor, and so on, so on. You can see on this purple box. Then in a light blue, if I'm not wrong with the colors, you can see documents, sales invoice header, sales invoice line, credit memo, header lines, purchase invoice, purchase, credit memo, header, reminders. All documents related with some transactions will be here, even posted general lines. Then in a right side, you have some additional information, master data actually, currency exchange rates, general ledger account, customer, vendor, bank account, fixed assets, depreciation book, and fixed asset depreciation book, because all of this information are required so DBA can control if something is wrong in other transactions. We cannot use this data. We do not have access there, as you do not have, and only if official DBA requirements comes to us, to DBA or prosecutor, someone who has this power to ask this data from Microsoft, Microsoft will deliver them as protected. So this is not something what we will do intentionally for any other purpose. We are keeping this only for this situation. So if we are enforced by the law, by some agency from Denmark with this power, we will deliver this data to them. Only one way. And as there were many misunderstandings about CVR number. I wanted to wrap up a bit more about CVR number. What is about, when you are blocked, when you are not. Probably everything is too complicated, so I just wanted to wrap up this again. Okay, we have company information, and we are talking only a production environment. In sandbox environment, you can use without any problem. And I didn't mention, as I said, in sandbox environment, you can turn off this notification. For example, from the moment you enter CVR number, you cannot remove the CVR number in production company. This is important. But if you copy production company to new one, CVR number will not be copied. So everything will be copied except CVR number and company information. So you can easily create copy of your company and you will not be blocked. So only your production company, for the moment entering CVR number, it will be blocked. So if you want, and you cannot delete this company anymore. This is related for production environment and company with a CVR number. Now, if you want to test, don't do this in production environment. Use sandbox environment because you don't have any problem to test, to make any test in a sandbox environment. In production, you cannot, because this is required by the law. Now, we have CVR number there. What if I didn't populate CVR number and company information? You will see notification that you are not registered with name handle. This is not blocker. This is just annoying notification. Then, user cannot post to general ledger. This is not because of name handle notification. This is because you are enforced to have CVR number so we can export data for keeping for 5 years. So without CVR number, you will get a annoying notification, but you do not. This is not now mandatory to be registered with name handle. You will be blocked because you didn't enter CVR number. Now, when you enter CVR number, but you are still not registered with name handle, notification will disappear. That's okay. You will not have this notification anymore. But, sorry, I just said the wrong thing. This notification will still exist because you are not registered with name handle, but you will be unblocked so you can continue posting without any problem. But you are not registered and you will still have this notification. And now, if you have CVR number and you are registered with name handle, you will, of course, you will not be blocked because you already have CVR number, but notification will disappear. Notification for name handle registration. It will disappear because now you have CVR number and you are registered with name handle. No problem. Production company, as I mentioned in the beginning, cannot be deleted. And again, just to emphasize, if you copy this company to the production environment as a new company, CVR number will not be copied, so this new copied company can be deleted until you enter new CVR number. That's it about what is updated, because this is mostly not what is new, what is updated. I want to share with you these two links. Compliance explanation, this is on our learning page. You can find article by article from DBA and how we comply with all of them. And you can find a new service specific terms here on the second link, so you can find everything about legal perspective. And then we have officially a registered number with DBA FOB 467715. And you can find these documents in this compliance explanation on our docs page as well. Yes, I want to encourage you to watch all sessions, but these two sessions will be important for you because now you will be forced to use e-documents. So I definitely think it would be a good idea to look what is new in e-documents. I didn't talk too much about e-documents in this session because we have independent session about e-documents, and we have one really great automation, great example of using Copilot. So you can watch introducing e-invoicing matching with Copilot. This is in purchase process, so you can automate matching your purchase order with incoming electronic documents. Please use some of these resources. BC Yammer. We are open there for communication. Just to remind you, we had all the time open a Danish Bookkeeping Act channel for direct communication about that. And we are trying to be transparent of all other functionality, whatever we are doing, so you can directly communicate with product group, aka MSBC Yammer. We can communicate on Twitter or X. Join our BC office hours and all your ideas, please submit to BC Ideas. This is the best way how you can get more people who think the same as you, who will vote for this idea, and this is the best sign we need to improve something in a BC Central, or to add maybe some missing feature. If you cannot remember all of these things, use AKMS BC All. So all these links can find there. And one important, because this is local feature, use AKMS BC Alerts. Every time when you see that some new upcoming regulatory requirements will show in your country. Let us know in advance, because we cannot track all of them. We are trying, but sometimes maybe some of important new regulatory things will miss, and let us know, even if you have 10 times the same requirement, this is much better than not to get this regulatory requirement at all. And join us on Q&A session. Both Arthur and I will be there, so we will try to probably to clarify, maybe this is still something is not clear enough, so we will try to clarify, to answer on your questions. Please join us there, and thank you for watching this session.